Yeah, so I am Abby Steffen. I am a labor and delivery birth doula and a postpartum doula with Becky Hale with Piedmont Doulas. And this class is designed to help teach you some of the things about what your body and your pelvis especially are doing as you are growing your babies, and different things that you can do to help yourself and your baby during late pregnancy and then during labor and delivery. So I always start out by showing people a pelvis. So this is your pelvis, and it's oriented in your body right here. This is your sacrum, so it's right here at the bottom of your tailbone. And this is about how big a lot of newborns are. This baby would be in real life about 8 pounds or so, about 21 inches. My son was 8 pounds, 1 ounce, and 21 inches. This big. So we are trying to get this baby through your pelvis to have your baby. So there are lots of different ways that, you can have a seat. Yeah, that baby tries to present. So we've all heard of, oh my gosh, I had back labor for hours. It was terrible. Oh my gosh, it was awful. My friend was in labor for how many hours, and it was just terrible. So what back labor is baby trying to come out like this. And you can tell that this is not going to fit as easily. The back of baby's head is going to be all along your sacrum and all along your spine. So ideally, the part of the baby's head that's coming and presenting into your pelvis is aligned like this. That is a much, much better fit. Who has heard about dilation? How many centimeters dilated do you have to be to birth your baby? 10. Who has heard of station and what station your baby needs to be? Awesome. So station refers to where your baby's head is in alignment with these pieces right here. So these are at the base of these are in your pelvis, around your sacrum, and they refer to where your baby's head is in reference to those. So baby's head is going to fit through here. And if you are at 0 station, baby's head is aligned with these little pink marks right here, with these ischial tuberosities. If baby has not yet dropped and baby's high, baby hasn't engaged yet, baby hasn't dropped, then they are up here. So these are the negative numbers. So like -3 stations. So you're gonna go to your appointment at like 38 weeks. They're gonna say, oh, you're 1 centimeter dilated and baby hasn't dropped yet. That's because baby is up here trying to figure out the best way to fit into your pelvis so that they can descend and start applying pressure onto your cervix, which is going to help you dilate, which is going to help you have your baby. So negative numbers are up here. 0 is when the top of baby's head is aligned with these, and then the positive numbers are when baby is working their way through and moving beyond and birthing. So we're going to set our newborn over here because my other baby is a little bit easier for us to navigate with. So if we are trying to get baby to drop and baby to engage, we're going to need to open up this part of the pelvis. So that's the pelvic inlet. So baby's trying to get into your pelvis, and I'm going to show you some ways to do that. We are trying to also open up what's called your mid-pelvis, which is this part, and then the pelvic outlet is the lower part. So that's what's happening as baby is being born. So we have to open up our inlet, our mid-pelvis, and our outlet to have our baby come out of our bodies so that we have our newborn to welcome. So in order to, I'm going to move this ball a little forward here. So in order for us to open up our pelvic inlet, that's here. Birth balls are amazing. Squats and lunges are amazing for different reasons. So to open up our pelvic inlet, we're going to be doing exercises that help open us this way. So that's going to be nice wide knees, nice rocking movements, because we're opening here. These are also opening the mid-pelvis as well to help baby have more room through here to get into a better position. So we are pelvic inlet. We want knees nice and wide. So these are our wide froggy leg positions. These are sitting cross-legged. This isn't knees really, really close together yet because that's opening up your outlet. So sitting knees wide, sitting on a birth ball, all types of movement like that are incredibly beneficial. And I think that we've all heard of cat and cow pose. So let me show you why that's recommended. So this is my pelvis when you are in hands and knees position. So like this, our pelvis is approximately parallel to the floor. And what we're trying to do is move our sacrum in relation to our pelvis. So tilting with cat and cow is going to open our pelvis in different ways. So with a nice flat back is how we start, and our pelvis is like this. Tilting your sacrum really, really high, letting that beautiful baby drop is going to give you lots of room in your abdomen and in your pelvis for baby to have room to kind of switch around, move around, navigate all of these bony landmarks that you're seeing. So cow is with your belly really, really low, nice and dropped, good curve in your spine and your tailbone pointing up. So cat represents this. See how much room you have in there? Cow is excellent for moving your sacrum. Cat is excellent for, watch here. Watch what happens to this blue spot when we change. Do you see how much more room is there just by shifting your sacrum? So if baby is growing inside of you and you have your big old beautiful pregnant belly, what do you think is most likely happening in your body? You got a sway in your back, your belly's pulling down, and your tailbone is lifting up, which is going to change this opening here. So it's going to be moving everything down, making a smaller pelvic inlet, keeping your pelvis nice and flat, and all of these movements is manipulating the way things happen here to give you more room to let baby drop down and engage. So cat and cow are great for helping baby figure out how to find more space. For the mid-pelvis, which is typically where you're going to be in labor, that's when you want all of the kind of uneven, unbalanced looking poses. So this is why we tell you to do curb walking or wonky walking. So you're going to go somewhere that has a curb and you're walking with one foot up on your curb and one on the ground, up and down. Watch what happens to your pelvis when you do that. You're going to be twisting your pelvis, which is making more room and more space for baby to navigate the mid-pelvis. So up and down, uneven, doing your stairs sideways, up, and then turn and go down. So all of these are excellent for opening the mid-pelvis, which is going to give baby more room to move their head into a better spot. So any kind of alternating twisting, lunges are excellent. And I know y'all are pregnant and you don't feel like doing lunges. This is not CrossFit. That is not what this is. Lunges can be very gentle. This is a lunge because it's affecting your pelvis. It's affecting all of these muscles. It's affecting all of these anatomical spots in your body. You're real tired? Guess what? This is a lunge. On your knees, on your floor, reaching towards your sofa, that's a lunge because you are twisting and changing the shape of your pelvis to open up more in mid-pelvis. Everybody understanding so far? Awesome. So then you are in labor and you are having your baby and you are working so hard and your provider tells you, oh, you're still at 0 station. You're fully dilated. You're still at 0 station. And people think, oh, I'm 10 centimeters, I can push. Of course you could. But if your baby is still really, really high up here, they're not coming out until they're way down here. So for you to use all of your energy after labor, if baby is still high and you're pushing, that's when you hear people say, I pushed for 3 hours before I had my baby, or I pushed for 2 hours. That's because baby wasn't as far down in the pelvis as they could be before they started pushing. Because we are at 0 station right here, which is, so this is my pelvic bone aligned with this model. This is how high baby still is. So they're engaged, they're in your pelvis, they're definitely putting pressure on your cervix to help it dilate, but they still have a good ways to go. So that's when we start thinking about our pelvic outlet, all of these spots. And if we are sitting in our labor bed and our knees are wide because this is how we have babies, what that's doing is opening up your pelvic inlet, but that's closing your pelvic outlet. That's giving you less room down lower to push your baby out. So in late labor, when you're past 0 station, that's when we want our knees together. Because look what happens when we bring our knees together. That's when the pelvic outlet starts happening. That's what gives baby more room down there for you to push your baby out. And look at our sacrum. So we all know that our sacrum is that triangular shaped bone on our spine. If you've been sitting in your hospital bed, your hard hospital bed, they tell you it's comfortable, you've been there for hours, it's not comfortable anymore. What's happening to your sacrum? It's being pushed into your pelvic cavity. Your baby's head is going to be bumping into that, and that's not going to give your baby the space that they need to move down and navigate. So with our sacrum pushed out and our knees together and feet wide, that's creating all of this space for you to get your baby out. So we were doing lots with our sweet little, easier to manage during the class baby. Let's watch what happens when we do some of these things with an accurately sized newborn. So if we're doing our pelvic tilts and our base of our spine and the top of our sacrum is moving, our baby's head fits in there really, really well. And then sorry, I gotta hold you with my knees, babe. If we're stretching our knees really, really wide, that's opening the pelvic inlet so baby can move further down. And then we're in labor and we are working, we're doing our lunges, we're doing our squats. That's moving through the mid pelvis. We're moving our sacrum to give our baby more room. Our head is through the pelvis now. And the rest is kind of up to baby as we push. They do these really, really cool little maneuvers. They tuck their chin, they pull their shoulders in and they twist. And then that helps baby come out. So all of the things that you hear when people are like, yeah, you just gotta get a birth ball, use your birth ball. That sounds easy. That sounds totally manageable. And then we see people, I got my birth ball. I'm using my birth ball. And you're cramming that baby into a bad position. And then they're gonna get stuck and they're not gonna maneuver as easily. But if you're moving on your birth ball and you're making big circles, all of these things are helping to open up your pelvis. They're helping your baby drop in and engage. All of these stretches, nice and crooked. These are all the things that you need to be doing on your birth ball. Having your arms really high, stretching and reaching, all of these things, you're stretching all of these muscles, all of your ligaments. They're helping you be more comfortable during your late pregnancy. They're helping your baby get into an optimal fetal position so that you can push your baby out more easily. Any questions? No, it's honestly, as long as you're cleared to do gentle exercises from your provider, there's really no time that's too early. There's no time that's too late either. So any type of movement and activity that you can do is going to be beneficial. If you're more sedentary because we're exhausted, if you're laying and taking tons of naps because we're exhausted and we're kind of keeping things in a static position, that's less beneficial than keeping moving and keeping things open and stretched. So question, who has heard of pubic symphysis pain or lightning crotch? Yeah, that is the worst. So lightning crotch happens because of, these are representing my ligaments. So imagine I have a big, beautiful uterus here with a gorgeous little baby inside. Your round ligaments don't actually stretch around your body, but that's how I have to demo. So your round ligaments are going to be stretched right about through here. This is your pubic symphysis. To help you have a baby, we have lots of hormones in our body that are softening and causing things to stretch, which is why we can open up right here. So with lightning crotch, if our round ligaments are really, really tight, it's going to be pulling on this in a really uncomfortable way. So to help loosen and stretch these, those are all of the lengthening exercises that I said. So on your hands and knees with your arms stretched out, stretching out this way and reaching. So that can help with some of the lightning crotch issues that are so uncomfortable. So yeah, all of these things are really good for late pregnancy, for labor and delivery. And like I said before, we're not trying to have you guys do like a full, huge marathon worth of exercise every single day of your pregnancy. There's a fine line between staying active and exhausting yourself. So a few minutes, I'm working out. I'm doing something to help me get ready to have my baby. So just nice, gentle stuff like that. Perfect. So like I said, I'm Abby Steffen. I'm one of the birth doulas on the Piedmont Doulas team. And then I also offer longer classes on this, and that information is provided on our website too. So I do group classes presenting more detailed information about this. And I also offer individual classes for couples that would rather have, just the two of you in a smaller setting. Oh, thank you, everybody.